All right, guys, so let's just begin. So thank you all for joining in with me. I am very, very grateful for the time that you've taken just to share with me. Um, I'd love to share a set of tools that I've designed based on some work I've been doing, some research, and some feedback that I've gotten from clients, as well as other persons who've looked at it. And I think it's very useful for helping you if you want to work on achieving your goals in a very structured and organized way. So let's get to it. So just to share a little about myself, I'm Mark-Odean. Some of you know me. I am an academic as well as I have a professional practice. So my qualifications are along the lines of psychology and human resource development. And I'm now studying for a doctor of transformational leadership. I lecture in psychology, and my research examines how personality, developmental experiences, and culture impact on how we thrive in the Caribbean. So in a nutshell, that is really looking at what it is about our experience in our everyday lives that allow us to learn and grow and be successful, not just average, but beyond average successful. My company is Visio Group. Some people know it mostly as Visio HQ. I am an empowerment coach, and I also do organizational consulting. So the basic aspect of my work or purpose of my work is to help people and organizations to thrive. And my mantra is by purpose, vision, and practice. So just to give you a quick rundown of my journey, in a nutshell, I was a boy. I had a Christian upbringing. I was reared by my mom, my grandma, and my aunt. I did pretty well in school, and I had a really, really, really great career. But 3 years ago, I had a really rough time, and I had a serious battle with anxiety and depression, and some serious suicidal tendencies as well. But through that, through help, through prayer, through the support of my friends, I overcame. And I'm at a place now where I feel so much better about what I'm capable of doing in life, and I'm working with others to help them too. So I call that stage empowerment and transformation. And so my work now I've dedicated to serving others in my purpose, my work, and my impact, every aspect of what I do. It's about how I can help to make the world a better place. Everybody has a story, and this is something I'd want you to think about, even as we move forward tonight. What is your story? What has been your hardship? What has been your struggle? What have you overcome? What has been really good for you? What has been really bad for you? Think about it in terms of pursuing your goals, in terms of organizing what it is that you want to achieve in life, in terms of the relationship that you build, etc. And so there's this notion that we're all working a program, and this is a concept that Russell Brand came up with. He says that we're all working a program. The question is whether or not it's your program or it's the one that's given to you. Are you really in charge of your life, or are you just doing what everybody else is doing or doing what is expected of you? So I like to say that growth is natural. A mango tree grows, an animal grows, we all grow, but development is strategic. If it is that we want to accomplish specific things that are outside of going with the flow, then we have to become very strategic with our development. Remember, guys, to mute your mic. So, a lot of my work is along the line of personal development. I just want to spend a few moments to talk about what personal development is. So the first thing is that it's a lifelong process. It's not something that you do and finish. So it really is, how do you start, what's the process, and where do you end up? So it's a continuous assessment and improvement of yourself, whether it's your characteristics, your skills, your qualities, your ambitions, your aspirations. But what is most important is that we have to understand that personal development requires a serious reflection on what is your purpose in life and what your aims are. What is it that you want to achieve? And once you figure that out, then you can set goals and work on accomplishing them. So a concept that I want us to come away with tonight is the concept of thriving. And thriving simply means that you are achieving extraordinary success throughout your life. So this is a continuous process of learning and development. Positive psychologists like to call it flourishing. So you're not just surviving, you are blossoming into something greater each and every day. I have a model of thriving though from my research, and it has these three elements: empowerment, transformation, and service. So empowerment is really about taking charge of your life, coming to the understanding that you have power to do something with your life. Transformation is the work, the process of becoming. What is it that you must learn to do? What is it that you must develop in terms of your skills and abilities, etc.? And then finally, how can you be of use? That's what transformation does. It makes you able to be of use to the world or to society. And then service looks at what is it that you will contribute to the world? And the world might be your child, the world might be your clients, it might be your students, or if you have a political platform. Service is about how you will leverage that power that you have in your life and how you will leverage your learning experiences, your developmental experiences to make a meaningful contribution to the world. And so I want us to just take a few moments and think about these very interesting facts, because when you talk to people about personal development or what it is that they want to achieve in life, especially young people or millennials, as they call us, we can become a little frustrated and anxious because we think that life is going way ahead of us and we're not achieving what it is that we must achieve. So the global life expectancy right now is 70 years old for men and 74 years old for women. Yes, women live longer than men. But amazingly though, in Jamaica, life expectancy across both genders is 78 years old. So I'd like you to just take a look at where you are in life now and imagine if it is that you are 20 years old, you have roughly 50 years more to accomplish what it is that you need to accomplish. That's a lot of time. But at the same time, it may not be a lot of time. But it doesn't mean that you are way behind. It means that you have to just become a little more strategic about what it is that you will focus on in achieving your goals. One very, very interesting finding is the idea that successful startup entrepreneurs actually start their businesses between the ages of 40 to 42 years old. So we're not talking about the businesses that fail, because many businesses fail within 18 months. But the successful businesses were started by people, on average, who were between 40 to 42 years old. Leaders in high growth startups, so these might not be the persons who started the business, but the persons who run them successfully, are on average 45 years old. An established career professional is typically between the age of 45 to 50 years old. That is the prime of your career, where you're probably a director or a CEO. And then finally, the average age to acquire sustainable wealth is between 47 years old to late 50s. And so as young people, we have to be very strategic about how we organize what we do today, so that by the time we reach those years, we're in a better position to sort of seize the type of opportunities or accomplish the goals that we have set out to accomplish. So there is time to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But if it is that you don't do what you need to do today, then certainly you will have a challenge as you move forward. Now, a concept that many people struggle with is the notion of success, because the world defines what success is, or other people define it, and people struggle to meet the requirements of the world based on what they think or define success to be. So I like to just put success in this simple definition. It's hitting the targets that you set for yourself. If it is that you try to please the world, you'll probably wind up average at best. We are not good at everything, and there are things that we are good at. There are things we are passionate about. There are things that we can make money doing. There are things that we can do better than many other people. So success in life, when you think about it, is largely when you accomplish what it is that you set out to do. And this is important because sometimes we don't have goals or we don't have a plan. So it's very difficult, even if we achieve a lot of things, to be successful. Because if you didn't have a target, then it's difficult to say, oh yes, I accomplished this. It won't have as much meaning as if you had a goal and work towards it. So I have this workbook, I call it My Big Plan, because I think whatever it is that we want to achieve in life, we should have a big idea about it. We should feel big about it. We should be excited about making the best of what we want to achieve in life. And so this is a personal workbook that has some different aspects to it that will help you to streamline your goals, to identify what it is that you will define as your purpose in life, and how you will structure accomplishing that on an annual basis, on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, straight down to the routines that you will establish on a daily basis. So the first stage is to evaluate yourself. Who, how, where are you right now? What are you good at? What are you good for? What is it that you're passionate about? And what can you offer the world? And some places that we can get information about this is introspection. Many of us are afraid to look at ourselves in the mirror or to ask ourselves questions, but many of the questions that we have about ourselves, we can answer them if we are willing to be honest and confront it. Feedback from others is important, but we have to be very careful about the feedback from others because people offer constructive and destructive criticism. So we have to identify those people in our lives or those people around us who can tell us feedback or criticize us in a way that will build us up and not necessarily tear down our dreams and aspirations. Also, there are personality tests that you can do just to give you some insights on what it is that is unique about you. Maybe it doesn't define you to a T, but it offers a sense of perspective where you might not be able to see for yourself. And finally, the market. The market is important in terms of defining who you are, because who you are is not independent of the world. If you're going to operate in a scene, especially if you're a professional or an entrepreneur, it is important to understand your audience, what it is that people desire, what it is that is good for the world, what is it that will help me to get ahead. So the market is very important in terms of evaluating yourself. So the first part of my big plan is plan A, articulate your purpose. And purpose is very, very elusive for some people because they think it's something that you will discover or you buck up into it one day. But I like to think of purpose as an intriguing interplay of discovery, decision, and determination. If you look up the dictionary definition of purpose, it speaks about something that you are determined to accomplish. And so purpose is not just something that you can find, but it is also something that you can define. The key is to articulate it and move forward. Don't spend your life searching for your purpose. Find out what you're good at, make it your purpose. It might change, and you might not get it right the first time, but still move forward. The sweet spot, I like to think about it as the intersection between your proficiencies, that's what you're good at, your passions, what you're very, very interested in consistently, and what is profitable. Whether that is making money, whether that is something that other people need in the world if you like to help people. So I have this thing called the circles of potential, where we look at your proficiencies, your passions, and what you're profitable, what may be profitable, sorry. So if you are good at math, for example, and you're passionate about math, but there is no job available in math, or there is nothing to do to make money with math, then perhaps math should be your hobby and not your career. If you are passionate about math, but you cannot do math, and there are jobs in math, then perhaps this is something that you should work on in terms of developing yourself. So I call this a potential development opportunity. If you're good at math and you can make money doing math, but you're not passionate about math, then perhaps you should consider this just for a job or a business opportunity. But if you're not passionate about it, what will happen is that you'll be disengaged. And so you might not be satisfied at the end of the day with what you have accomplished. So the sweet spot is really to find out what it is that you're good at, what is profitable, what you're passionate about, what falls into that. I call that your potential purpose. And that changes over time as we build our skills, as the market changes, as we find new things that are exciting for us. So we can define our life's work, our potential purpose, by what is proficient, what we're proficient at, what is profitable to the market or to the world, and what we're consistently interested in, which is our passions. So plan A in my big plan allows you to draft this out. You write your name. I like to say, I am Mark-Odean. My students laugh when I say that. But it is important to be confident about who you are, and saying your name allows you to recognize that you are unique, you are different, and you have something valuable to offer. What is your purpose? And what do you envision the fulfillment of that purpose looking like? That is your vision. What is it in life that you value? What will you work on in the next 10 years? And finally, if you die tomorrow, what do you want to be remembered for? Or who do you want to be remembered as? Then we have plan B. Those of us in the corporate setting would be familiar with SMART goals. I optimize it a little bit and call it smarter goals. Your goals need to be specific. They can't be vague. And so your smarter goals, the first thing, you can't want to rule the world. That is too big. Find something very specific that you want to accomplish and write that down. It has to be measurable. And that simply means you have to know when you have accomplished it. If you have a goal that you can't pin down when you have accomplished it or how you're making progress, then it will be difficult for you to feel that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. Also, the goal must be attainable. You must have the capacity to execute this goal or working towards developing yourself to execute it. It must also be realistic. Don't focus your energy and time on things that are not helpful or things that are superfluous or idealistic or way off. Look at those practical things that can help you to accomplish your goals and focus on that. Also, set deadlines for yourself. Your goals must be time-bound. Set a timeline the next 3 months and set a date and perhaps even a time for when you will accomplish it. And finally, I think that this is important in terms of goal. Your goals must be aspirational. We live in a culture where we are taught to have ambition. Your ambitions focus on what it is that you will accomplish in life. But we often forget about the importance of focusing on who we will become in life. And so we might get rich, we might get the big house, we might get the big car, but we are not the type of person who can sustain wealth. We are not the type of person who has the discipline to sustain success. So as a result, we have to focus on how we develop ourselves, focus on how we are becoming who it is that we want to become so that we can sustain the goals that we set. So in my big plan, you would organize your annual goals. I have 5 years there. So, because some goals cannot be accomplished in a year, but still write it down. And then your quarterly goals would be now how it is that you will organize the goal you set for 2019, for example, on a quarterly basis. What will you focus on January to March versus October to December? And you will say what you must do to accomplish this. How will you do it? Who can assist you and when it will be done? Those things are important. And also, where are you in accomplishing the goal so you can constantly check and evaluate your progress. Then we have plan C, which is charting your monthly objectives. This is important because goals are big. So you have to narrow them into tactical plans that you can actually implement or do on a monthly basis. So that's moving from what you will accomplish to how you will make it happen. So if your goal is to become a doctor, for example, what you might have to do to make that happen is to get CXC science subjects or CAPE subjects or go to med school, for example. And so it's good to have a goal, but it's also important to have a plan where you can clearly articulate how you will make it happen. Also make your objectives smarter. So the same specific, time-bound, aspirational, apply the same principles to those goals. Also, make sure that your goals are helping, your objectives rather, are helping you to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. So if it is that you want to become a doctor, you can't be focusing on things that will not help you to become a doctor. Those have to be your hobbies or your recreational activities. You have to focus your energies and efforts into what will help you to become a doctor, or what will help you to start that business, or what will help you to make that huge investment. So your Monday objectives will also have that SMART formula, but it's important to say why it's important, because sometimes we set objectives that are not important. So if something is not important, don't do it. And you will determine your own criteria for what is important and what is not. Then also, what actions do you need to take to make progress on this goal? And who can assist you in making progress on this goal? And you monitor as well where you are in completion. Then action is important, not a bag of mouth, as we say in Jamaica. Plan out every week what your actions will be, what you can do, what you must do, what you will do to achieve your objectives and accomplish the goals that you have set, not what anybody else have set, no, the goals that you have set for yourself, and then work your plan. So it's important that we actually think about what it is that we can accomplish, what we must accomplish, what we will accomplish, and on a week-to-week basis, sit down and work it out. So this week, this is what I'm going to do. This is the person I'm going to connect with, etc. Just do it. It seems robotic, but humans, from a psychological standpoint, function better when we operate in routines. And so your weekly actions will have your action plan about the priorities that you have for the week. But what I also like to emphasize is connections. Who is it that you will connect to this week? And this might just be to say hello, or it might be somebody who can help you to accomplish your goals. Don't take it for granted that people can help you to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life. Look for those people who can help you and those you can help as well. But it's important to collaborate with others if it is that you want to be great. And also identify strategic moves that you can make every week to advance your goals or to advance your development. So for example, how can you make an impact? How can you build wealth? How can you improve your health or well-being? And what is it that you can do to improve your development? Then plan E is where most people fail, but it is important. Execution. What you will do every single day to accomplish your goals. And many of these things are routine. So for example, waking up at the same time in the morning allows your body to be in a certain routine. Checking your messages on a schedule as opposed to going on your phone, even when you don't have a notification. Phones are a major distraction. Social media are major distractions. They're excellent tools, but we have to set up routines that will help us to move us forward and not those that will distract us from achieving our goals. And finally, on a daily basis, find a way to reflect on what it is that you've accomplished, what you've failed at, and be grateful. So your daily tasks will work out what it is that's a priority for today. You can't do everything in one day. And so identify what is the priority, identify the actions you must take, and find out who can help you to accomplish it and how you will get it done. At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I get it done? And if not, you follow up the other day. Now, this is an interesting part of the plan. I call it Plan F. Originally, it was fail, but I changed it to fear. And this is a concept that was developed by Tim Ferriss. Fear setting. We set goals, but sometimes we don't move on those goals because we're afraid of failing, or because we don't think we can do it, or because somebody told us, why you do that? So it is important that when you set a goal, set your fears as well. And this is simply working through, what is it that I am afraid of? What is limiting me from accomplishing this? And what is going to happen if I don't do it? So for example, identify what are the benefits of succeeding at this goal. what will I accomplish if I actually succeed at doing this? And then work out the cost of not doing anything. So for example, let's say going back to school. You're in a job and you want to get a better job. So perhaps the school requires a certification or a degree or some form of training. So if it is that you don't apply for the training, in 3 months, what might happen is that the deadline might pass and you have to wait until next year. In 1 year, what might happen if you don't apply is that you might be passed up for a promotion because you're not in the training program. In 3 years, you're probably not able to move on to a better job because you did not take the steps or the actions that were necessary to move you forward. So when we work through what our fears are, or when we work through what our doubts or limitations are, we can project what we will achieve if we actually take action and what we won't achieve if we don't take action. And then figure out what might go wrong. So define the bad outcome. If you don't get the promotion, then you probably won't have enough money to do whatever it is that you want to do. If this happens, how can you prevent it? Apply for the program or find another program to do. And how might you repair it? What can you do in the event that your fear comes to pass or what you are scared of happens? Then plan G is really about going over your goals. It's important to monitor your progress and remain accountable so that you can achieve whatever it is you set out to do. It is important so that you can feel like you're maintaining momentum and that you can make changes, because sometimes we're going down the wrong road. And so if we're not checking based on what goal we set, we will not realize that, hey, you know you're not going down the right place. So it's important to do that. Failure. If you fail, it's feedback. It's not the end of the world. So go back, reevaluate, and do it again. And when you succeed, celebrate. Celebrate, because every small accomplishment contributes to your goal. So the My Big Plan is just one example of a development tool that I have developed to help people to set their goals and accomplish it. I have a list of other tools that we can talk about. If you are interested, you can email me or message me and we talk a little about it. So what I do in working with clients is help them with personal assessments so that they can understand more about themselves, and from an objective standpoint, just give feedback. I also do empowerment coaching, and I also do career counseling. My company offers group facilitation and training for organizations, as well as business and organizational consulting. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight in terms of my big plan. And I also want to hear from you if it is that you need help to achieve your goal, what it is that you want to accomplish or where you are right now. This is my contact information. I'll email this out to everybody so that you can have it, so that we can connect if it is that you need my help or if it is that you want to continue the conversation. So if you have any questions, let's just state them right now. You can type them